Hello everyone, peace be upon you all. Welcome to the 8th stream where we learn linguistics. In this stream we are going to continue chapter 3 on morphology. I'm wondering again whether I should read the entire book or just read part 1. I'm worried that there is some important information in the rest of the chapters that I'm going to miss out on. Okay, let's continue anyway. For now, let's see. Morphology. We've had lexical morphemes that convey the major content of a message, and they are of 3 types: free roots, bound roots, and derivational affixes. And affixes are the bound morphemes that are attached to the free morpheme, either at the beginning or the end or the middle. Anyway, bound roots. Recall that some lexical roots have bound and free allomorphs. Recall that some lexical roots have bound and free allomorphs. Recall where we have not said that before. Anyway, apparently lexical roots have bound and free allomorphs. Among lexical roots, there are free roots, free lexical morphemes. Free roots. Does free roots have bound and free allomorphs as well? I guess, yes. I think he's referring to the part where he said deride and derision, where the free and bound forms of the negative word are on free variation, whereas the free and bound forms of deride are in complementary distribution. A morpheme can have both free and bound allomorphs. Okay. Sometimes lexical roots are bound in all of their manifestations. Null has around 50 bound roots, mainly terms for parts of the body that must take a prefix indicating the owner of the part. For example, there is no free lexical morpheme hand. Wow, very interesting. The root is the bound form moral, that has to have a prefix, as in ngamarl, my hand, and nimarl, your hand, and nimarl, his or her hand, and moral, the hands, and so on. Neural has in addition some 100 of other bound roots, including jid, go, put, je, do, and say, that have to take a prefix indicating the doer of the action, and may in addition take a range of other prefixes and suffixes indicating the time of the event, whether it occurred or not, and so forth. Then we have derivational affixes. These are affixes that attach to a lexical root and result in a new word, a complex item called a stem. The suffix in English is a derivational suffix. Adding it to a lexical root gives a stem with a related meaning. What does stem mean? Branch? Trunk, body. The main body or stalk of a plant or shrub, typically rising above the ground but occasionally subterranean. How is adding it to a lexical root gives a stem? Oh, so we have like a root and a stem that comes out of the root, like a branch. Okay, I got it. Adding it to a lexical root gives a stem with a related meaning. Attaching this suffix to bake gives baker. To boil gives boiler, and so on. Other derivational suffixes in English include ish as in childish, ick as in alcoholic, full as in tearful, li as in precisely, among others. These are all suffixes. Derivational affixes. These are affixes that attach to a lexical root and result in a new word, complex item called a stem. What's the difference between a derivational affix and a normal affix? The suffix in English is a derivational suffix. Adding it to a lexical root gives a stem with a related meaning. Attaching this to bake gives bacon. Okay. Notice that these suffixes do not only change the meaning of the morpheme they also normally change its parts of speech. What is part of speech? See section 4.1. Thus, from nouns like child, alcohol, and tia, we get adjectives like childish, alcoholic, and tearful. Not all derivational morphemes change the part of speech of a root. For example, hood normally attaches to a noun giving another noun: childhood, priesthood, sisterhood. Many derivational prefixes in English are like this, and the derived form is the same part of speech as the root. Newel has a derivational morpheme it, with a meaning similar to English that can be attached to a lexical morpheme. Of virtually any type to give a noun. So it may or may not change a morpheme's part of speech. Yawarded, horser, horseman, almid, header, hat, majan bin nid, to jumper, and junked, runner. Stems can often be further derived to give yet a more complex stems. For instance, from the root help, we can derive helpful, which can be further derived to unhelpful. This new word can be further derived by suffixing ness, unhelpfulness, or helpful, or unhelpfully. So derivational affixes. I still don't get the difference between normal affixes and derivational affixes. Wouldn't all affixes produce stems? At least there is no affix in mind that does not produce a stem, a new word, right? Perhaps we will understand better later. I also have another question or another remark. Derivational affixes are not roots, are not lexical morphemes. He is distinguishing between bound lexical roots and derivational affixes. Okay, let's continue. Grammatical morphemes. Let's search something. Never mind. I was going to search types of affixes, then I remembered that they would bring types of affixes, not like and ik and full and li, these different affixes, not types as in derivational and normal and not derivational, so on. Anyway, grammatical morphemes. Whereas lexical morphemes give the major meaning content of an utterance, grammatical morphemes mainly give information about the grammatical structure of the utterance. Whereas lexical morphemes give the major meaning of content of an utterance, grammatical morphemes mainly give information about the grammatical structure of the utterance, about how to put the content together to form a coherent whole. Grammatical morphemes are generally demanded by the grammar and contribute relatively abstract schematic meanings concerning the functions of the lexical items. For this reason, they are sometimes called function morphemes. Like lexical morphemes, they can be either free or bound. I prefer the function morphemes name. The other, this name is better. Because how is it grammatical? Grammatical in what sense? Okay, we've got free grammatical morphemes. Free grammatical morphemes in English include words like and, but, by, in, on, not, that, that, it, me, and so forth. Languages only rarely acquire new grammatical morphemes, and the grammatical morphemes in a language can be regarded as effectively forming a closed class. The most frequent words in English are free grammatical morphemes. This is confirmed by investigations of large corpora. See Table 9.1 for listings of the 10 most frequent words in free corpora. Although there is some disagreement among the corpora, the, be, of, and, a, to, and appear among the 10 highest frequency words in each of the listings. In fact, almost all of the 40 most frequent words in a corpus of a bit of over 2 million words of both speech and writing made up of 3 publicly available corpora turned out to be grammatical words. The 3 or 4 that are not all have grammatical uses as well as lexical uses. What? Almost all of the 40 most frequent words, the 3 or 4 that are not grammatical words all have grammatical uses as well as lexical uses, so have both functions. Okay. Bound grammatical morphemes. Inflectional affixes. Inflectional affixes, or bound morphemes, that give grammatical information relevant to the interpretation of a word in the sentence in which it occurs. Inflectional affixes are bound morphemes that give grammatical information relevant to the interpretation of a word in the sentence in which it occurs. They do not give rise to new lexical words, but to different forms of a single lexical word. Different forms that are appropriate for the use of the word. Different forms that are appropriate for the use of the word in the sentence. Consider the following Latin sentence. Servi consulem audiunt. Slave consul hear they. What is the PLSUB SGOO? Plural subject. The second one is SG, singular object. They what's PRS? What does PRS stand for? Present. Oh, here it was. The slaves hear the consul. What is this 3-2? Was there 3-1 before? Yes, there was 3-1. Okay. This is 3-2. Cool. This example shows the standard way of laying out example sentences and should be adhered to. The first line shows the words in the language divided into morphemes by hyphens. This line is given in italics. Below is a line giving a gloss, simple translation for each morpheme. For grammatical morphemes, the gloss is usually given as an abbreviation in capitals. In the above example, PL stands for plural, PRS for present, i.e. an event going on now, OBJ for object, SG for singular, and SUB for subject. When more than one word is used in the gloss for a single morpheme in the language line, the words are separated by a colon. When more than one word is used in the gloss for a single morpheme, in the language line, the words are separated by a colon. The third line shows a free translation that indicates the meaning of the entire sentence. This is enclosed in single quotation marks. For fuller details of recommended conventions, see the Leipzig glossing rules conventions for interlinear morpheme by morpheme glosses available at the EPV resources glossing rules. Cool. The suffix e on serve, slave, indicates that this word is the subject of the sentence. And that it is plural, right? That this word is the subject of the sentence and that more than one slave is involved. That is, that the word is plural in number. The m suffix on the second word indicates the console is the object and is singular in number. The suffix e and m are inflectional suffixes that give information about how the words they are attached to are incorporated into the grammar of the sentence. That give information about how the words they are attached to are incorporated into the grammar of the sentence. Does he mean with grammar the syntax? I'm failing to understand the sentence. The suffixes e and m are inflectional suffixes that give information about how the words they are attached to are incorporated into the grammar of the sentence. How they are incorporated into the grammar of the sentence. Okay, whatever. Attaching them to the roots serve and console does not give rise to new words, but to forms of the same word that are appropriate to their grammatical environments. Okay. If instead the sentence was to express the meaning that the consul heard the slaves, the word consul would be used as is, that is, without the suffix, while the suffix os would be attached to serve. The suffix unt added to odi here is also an inflectional suffix, giving a form of this word that should be used when the subject is plural. If the subject had been singular, the suffix t would have been used instead. This suffix also indicates that the event is going on at the present time. The lexical words serve and console and OD come in different forms according to the grammatical features of the sentence they occur in. Thus compare 3 to... what is this called? Hyphen or dash. Three dash 2 and 3 with 3 dash 3. Console service audit. The console hears the slaves. Cool. Inflections on nouns thus that indicate the grammatical role of the noun in the sentence are called cases. Things are getting complicated and terms are increasing, technical terms, and I'm losing motivation. Okay, let's focus. Inflections on nouns that indicate the grammatical role of the noun in the sentence are called cases. It is usual to call the subject case, as in Latin, the nominative, abbreviated nom, and the object case, accusative, abbreviated ACC. Okay, I have a question. Is the suffix itself or the affix called case? Or the words? Or the state of the word, of the noun? It's in the accusative case, or under the accusative case. Or is the suffix itself the accusative case? Never mind. We will know later, I guess. The inflections on the verb are called agreement inflections. What does that mean? They agree with the subject in terms of whether it is I, we, you, they, and so on. The inflections on the verb are called agreement inflections. They agree with the subject in terms of whether it is I, we, you. Okay. English also has inflectional suffixes, including a regular plural suffix with allomorphs. Wait, slowly. My brain or mind is working slowly right now because I'm sleepy. Okay, cool. A regular plural suffix, like birds, the S at the end, with allomorphs S and Z and EZ, where the tilde separates alternating allomorphs, as in magistrates, slaves, and churches respectively. Some nouns have irregular plurals. For example, the plural of mouse is mice and of child is children. Okay. The suffix S, Z, and EZ on kisses there is a problem here. It is not kiss, it is kisses. There is an extra E. Whatever, kisses, hears, and passes. Hears and passes is also an inflectional suffix giving the form of these words appropriate wait. These are not plurals. These are verbs. Kisses, hears, and passes. Is it passes or passes? It's difficult. I never said passes. Never mind. Let's continue. Is it also an inflectional suffix? These allomorphs are a single suffix. Okay. Giving the form of these words appropriate to sentences with a single subject, excluding the speaker or hearer, he, she, or it in present time of the event. What? My comprehension is very bad. I want to finish this section. Where does it end? Linguistics. Differences. Summary. I'm reading the table. Okay. It's over at 65 and we have 64 and we are in 63. I'm afraid that if I end the stream and then get sleep, that I wouldn't sleep, actually. Because I'm tired, but I'm not sleepy. I want to continue for 20 more minutes so that I complete an hour. Okay, I'm going to stop after the clitics. The suffix sz and ez on verbs is also inflectional suffix, giving the form of these words appropriate to sentences with a singular subject excluding the speaker or hearer, he, she, or it, and present time of the event. Okay, cool. Clitics. Not all bound grammatical morphemes are inflectional affixes. Consider the bound form of the free grammatical morpheme not written int. Not focusing. Come on. Push. Push forward. Push on. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming. Just keep reading. In this case, just keep reading. Just keep reading. Not all grammatical morphemes are inflectional affixes. Consider the bound form of the free grammatical morpheme not written int. I forgot what's bound grammatical morphemes. I've got free grammatical morphemes and bound grammatical morphemes, and bound grammatical morphemes are divided into inflectional affixes and clitics. Okay, now I've got it. Consider the bound form of the free grammatical morpheme. Sorry about that, that's my phone. I'll mute it. Just chillin' and learning. When this morpheme is attached to an auxiliary verb. What's an auxiliary verb? Such as have, as in the haven't broken in. It does not result in a new form of the auxiliary of that auxiliary verb. The word haven't is not a distinct form of have that has been chosen because of the grammar, nor is it a new lexical stem. What are the options here? Either it's a lexical stem or it is chosen because of the grammar. A stem is a derivational affix. We've spoken about bound roots, trying to connect everything together, right? We've got bound roots, like the hand thing and body part thing, free grammatical morphemes and inflectional suffixes. forgot about the cases thing. Okay. I guess clitics is abbreviations, right? As they haven't broken in. Bound grammatical morphemes like this, which behave grammatically as separate words but are phonologically part of the preceding word, are called enclitics. If they are part of the following word, they are called proclitics. The term clitic is a generic term for covering blood types. Not all clitics are like int in having corresponding free-form words. The English possessive morpheme s with allomorphs s, z, and ez is an example. This morpheme does not make a variant form of the word to which it is attached a form that is appropriate to a particular grammatical environment. That this is because it is attached not to the end of the word of a word, but to the end of a phrase. This is because it is attached to the end of a word, but to the end of a phrase, a group of words that go together as a single unit. Although in the King's Crown it might seem that the s gives the form of the noun used when it is a possessor, this is not always the case. In the King of England's crown, it is still the king who is the possessor, not England. Similarly, he remains the possessor in examples such as the king who beheaded him's palace. The king we saw's palace. The king denied the crown from's palace. There is no free allomorph of the possessive s. Okay. Should we read this, or should we end it here? Should end it, I think. Thank you guys for watching, if you have watched, if you exist in the future, and goodbye. Peace.